Yes, it's a beautiful day, everybody. Thank you, Lord. I hope everybody's doing well today.
Greetings, everyone. Dr. Annette West, Publishing Pusher here. Thanks for joining me. In the jet name, publishing, talking all things books. Yes, the operative words, all things. I'm excited you're here. You listen in, share your thoughts. You don't have to be live on the screen to be able to talk. And I want you to know your success is my business. I'm here to assist you, support, empower, inspire as we pull out those thoughts to get these books accomplished. Thanks again for joining me.
All right, thank you so much for joining. We're going to be tight in our 45 minutes today, but I want to share a little bit about some book publishing tips that can benefit us. You know, when we're doing something, we want to put forth our best effort. And so many people are self-publishing today, which is a great thing. The barrier to entry now is very low, and the rewards can be very high if we put forth the needed effort. I like to always remind us of my S3 model, which says, if you don't show up, people don't know you exist. If you don't speak out, people don't know you have something to say. And if you don't share it, people don't know what's in your toolbox. So we are going to show up, speak out, and share it. I don't know if you are familiar with the book, and the movie, and all of that kind of stuff, the series called 50 Shades of Grey. I've never seen it. I've only heard about it. But that book that became a movie, that book was originally a self-published book. So when people say things like, oh, it's self-publishing, it's not at the same value, say the same the level, the professionalism, it can be if you figure it out and know what you're doing. We don't have to put out garbage. We can put out as high a quality as anybody else can. We just have to know that we can. I talked a bit before about what can you publish. Maybe you have a journal. Maybe you have prayers. Maybe you have sermons that you've written. Maybe you want to write your memoir. Maybe you have poetry that you've written through the years, short stories. You can take that content and you can put it into one manuscript and make it a book. The book doesn't have to be fat. This book is only probably about maybe 100 pages, this book. So it's really about what you want to invest in what you are doing. This book is 114 pages, but I guarantee you it's full of depth. It doesn't really matter how big your book is, as long as the needed content for your target audience is able to gain the information that they need. So whatever you have, consider sharing it. I guarantee you there is a self-publishing solution for you. Now, if you happen to be one of those people and you want to go spend your money and you want to go to a traditional company and you're hoping that they're going to sign you up, you can do that. You can wait for years for them to finally get to your book. They may or may not. They may put others consistently in front of yours because they consider you as a nobody, but you know you are somebody. So you can decide that you're going to do this yourself as well. I promote self-publishing because I believe that it is in us to fulfill whatever our dreams and our aspirations are. And I believe if I can do it, you can do it. You may not want to do it, but if I can do it, you can do it. Now, I will publish your book for you, but I would like to hopefully encourage you to be a self-publisher. Last week when we were in here, we talked about editing, how the author needs to edit their own work to a degree to get it edit ready for whoever they're going to have to do their major editing with. The more we can correct, the better it's going to be for the process of us not having to spend as much resources. Most editors are going to charge you typically by the word, but there are some that charge you by the page, how many pages you have, and there are some that charge you by the time, by the hour. So it's all about what you're willing to invest out there. I'm going to post my YouTube link. I have a new YouTube channel. Miss Anna's probably the only one that knows I have it because last year when she did her last book for her series, I posted it on there, and several people, I said several, but I think it's about 30 people have already gone there to look at her content. So I've had some issues putting my content on Facebook. I don't know why, but I do know Facebook has had some changes. That's why my Sunday service isn't streaming on there because of new requirements. And we got to do a workaround to get it there. But you'll be able to go to Jetnay Publishing. If you pull up Jetnay Publishing on YouTube, you will get to my channel. There's about 5 or 6 video pieces on there now. There's 3 pieces from this session from 3 different weeks. We lost one of our sessions on a download. Don't ask me how, but it was a very interesting issue that arose. But you can go to Jetnay Publishing, make sure you subscribe. And every week now, instead of posting it on Zoom, I'm going to post it on YouTube. And I'll try to put a reminder on Facebook that you can go to YouTube and look at the pieces from this session. I have had he was an old professor of mine, and I still consider him as my mentor, Dr. James eBay, and he listened to the session from last week on the YouTube channel, and he was thoroughly interested. And then he said, well, what else do you have for me to listen to? So he'll have to catch up on the pieces as we are putting them out. If you have questions or comments today, I want you to feel free to do that. I want to share from my 7 tips to self-publish like a pro, and then you can feel free to share. But we've already talked about this, but since and there's a lot of things that we talked about when we were on Clubhouse, but since we're not on Clubhouse, it'll be reiteration for some of us. But here's the thing, reiteration is a good thing because reiteration draws us back to content that we need to know. And the more we go back and we look at it and we listen to it, the better or more depth of insight we will have as we are moving ahead. So I'm going to share tip 1, and then if you want to come in and share your comments, you are welcome to. But my tip 1 is understanding our standard book elements. The standard book elements of barcode, copyrights, and library, international standard book numbers, as well as Library of Congress numbers. These are things that we want in and on our books. On the back of your book is typically where your ISBN will be found and your barcode will be found. Inside the cover of your book, 1 or 2 pages in, depending on the layout, you will find, or you will place your copyright and your copyright, ISBN, and I think, oh, Library of Congress number. Okay, so that's inside your book. Now, most of us don't have our book copyrighted through the Copyright Office at the time we are writing our book. It may be later that we actually officially copyright it, but what we do is we put the copyright symbol on in our document so people know it belongs to you. You will put the title of the book and you will put your name. This is information, as well as the Library of Congress number, that you are going to need, and your International Standard Book number, your ISBN. These are all numbers and information that you will need when it's time to go into the copyright system to place your request for a copyright. We talked about the not the ISBN, we talked about the Library of Congress control number, so LCCN. That number, you will also go to the Library of Congress to request it. It typically takes about 14 days to get it. My last one, I waited 14 days, didn't get it. First time I never got my Library of Congress number. And of course, after everything was done and the book had been sent through, after I reached out to them and they had reprocessed it, it still took me X amount of time to get that Library of Congress number. So now I have to go back and I have to put it in the book. There's a number I want us to be very mindful of. It's called the AISN, AISN number. The ISBN is an industry-wide recognized number. The AISN is relative to the platform that you may create a book on. For instance, if you create a book on Amazon, they give you an AISN number, but you don't want that. You want to pay for your copyright to ensure that you have the right number on your content. Because if you use Amazon's AISN number, your book is only relative to Amazon. You can't decide, oh, I want to go over to Barnes and Nobles and try to put that there. You can't do it with that number. You can't go to Ingram Sparks. You can't do a whole lot of things with that number because it's relative to that system, which is Amazon. And it is not the identification number that we will need to try to get our books in different locations, bookstores, wherever. You're trying to get it in Walmart, you're trying to get it in Barnes and Nobles. It's not going to happen with an AISN number. I know I have some editors in here, some authors in here. Did anybody want to share anything on these numbers and information that we need for every book that we do? You need a different ISBN. And here's a good thing, which people didn't realize. So you have a book and you want to do a ebook, and you want to do you have a soft copy book, you want to do an ebook, you want to do a hard copy book, you want to do an audio book. Guess what? You need 4 different ISBNs. Because each one, even though it's the same content, it's not in the same layout, it's not in the same structure, it's not in the same vein. So each must have its own ISBN. If you're searching for ISBNs, you want to go to Bowkers, BOWKERS, Bowkers.com. That is the official global website for well, it is for the US. Because other countries have theirs as well, but it's still their universal, which is similar to, I'll put it that way. But in the US, our books, even though our books may go to other places, this is the required or the expected organization that we will be getting our ISBNs from. And when people try to sell you ISBNs directly, be very, very, very careful. Miss Anna, Nadine, anybody, Melvise, anybody want to say anything about the things that I've mentioned? Hey, Ashley. Oh, I guess that means I said it all on that one. The second tip that I want to share today is your book cover. Your book cover. Well, before I do that, before I talk about that, does anyone have any questions or comments on anything that I've said that sparks anything? Because remember, this is not just me sharing. That's not what I want to do. I need those that come in to bring their questions. If you can't put your question, open up with your question, feel free to post it in the chat.
I have a question, Dr. Net.
Yes. Hey, Ashley.
Hi, good morning. Thank you for your time for doing this. Could you recite those once again? It's the ISBN, the LCCN, the copyright, and what were the other ones?
The barcode.
Barcode, okay.
So it's barcode, copyright, international standard, which is the ISBN, and then the Library of Congress control number, LCCN.
Okay.
But
All right.
the copyright, the official copyright to get your certificate will be the last thing, most likely the last thing you will do, or close to the last thing, because you want to make sure that the copy that you send to the Library of Congress is supposed to be the best and cleanest copy of your book that you have. That's one of the reasons why that takes a little bit longer for us to send off.
Okay, so the copyright comes before you send in for the LCCN?
No, you must have the LCCN.
Before you copyright?
Yeah. Well, you
Okay.
need the Library of Congress control number, because it needs to go in the inside of your book. No library would accept your book or seek for your book if you don't have it. Bookstores need that number as well. Somebody, one of my authors said that, I don't know who they came across someone that wanted to buy their book in bulk. Because they had the Library of Congress number, they were able to pull it as an official book that had been, I guess, gone through the process, industry recognized with the requirements, and she was able to sell a bulk of books to that particular facility. I didn't ask her what it was. It could have even been a bookstore, but I didn't ask.
Okay.
But you need your barcode and your ISBN, because that goes on the back of your book. But your ISBN is also in the interior of your book on your copyright page. So you have your copyright page, and then you have your copyright. Those are two different things, okay? So let me just see if I can clarify that. On the copyright page, you put the copyright symbol with the title of the book and your name. Now, your book hasn't been officially published, nor is it copyrighted with a certificate. But the rule of thumb is, once you put your content out, you have your copyright symbol on it, it is copyrighted, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So we just want to make sure that we have that copyright symbol in our book, on our copyright page, whatever blurb we want to put in there about how the content in the book is used, and if we use any scriptures, what Bibles we got them from was mentioned last week. Make sure that you know how much content you can use from a Bible before you use it, as well as, do you have to seek approval to use that particular version in your book.
Okay.
Hopefully I answered that all, yes.
Yes, no, I think that was clear. No, I appreciate it. You covered more too. And no, I think that was great. The ISBN, are you able to request, because you said if you have an ebook plus a hard copy book, then are you able to request those ISBNs before your book is through all these processes? Because
You
I
have
mean,
to. You have to, because you can't publish your book without without the ISBN, unless you're going through Amazon and you're using their code, okay? Which you don't
Right.
want to do. So what you do is you go to Bowkers. Thank you, Ashley. You go to Bowkers. You can purchase one ISBN and a barcode, okay? Or you can purchase 10 ISBNs, which is cost effective for the person first starting out, okay? If you were creating 2 projects and you had 4 different things that you were doing of each that I mentioned, then you would have enough ISBNs for both of those projects, right?
Mhm.
And then what they do is, once you've paid for your ISBNs, they send you a list of your ISBNs. You go into Bowkers, your list is there, and every time you go in and put your information, then that means one of your ISBNs is used. So
Okay.
it's very easy to do and to keep up with. They're gonna make sure you stay honest in this process. And then when you get to the point that you're doing a lot, like I am, I purchased my ISBNs for, what is it, $500 or $600 for 500 ISBNs. So if you thought at the beginning, oh, I'm just gonna do lots of books, then get invest in it. But if you're not sure, then I would say at least get the one that's 2 something, where you get the 10 ISBNs. Because you're gonna
And so
pay $100 and some dollars for one ISBN and the barcode, okay? You might as well pay the 200 and whatever it is and get 10 to get started. But if you can't afford the bigger package, then get the bigger package.
Yeah, that makes sense. And when you purchase the ISBNs, you'll purchase them and they'll be recorded under your name. But then once you get your book published, you'll go back in and put the name of the book with the ISBN. Is that how it works? Or you need to have all of those details on lockdown at the time that you purchase your ISBN?
No, you don't have to have anything on lock when you purchase your ISBNs. They just want you to purchase the ISBNs. But their
Okay.
system allows you to go in and put the necessary information.
Okay, that makes sense.
Okay.
And one barcode comes with one ISBN.
I never did the one, so I cannot tell you. But typically the barcode is a separate price, but you can do your own barcode for free. My admin went to Amazon, what is it called? My admin went to YouTube and got a video of how to create your own barcode. So instead of paying $35 to $40 for a barcode, I don't have to pay that, because my admin is able to create the barcode and put it on.
Okay, nice.
And also, if you're doing your book through Amazon, they now ask you, which they didn't before, they ask you, do you have a barcode for your book? And if you say yes, then fine. And if you say no, they're automatically going to add the barcode to it now. But you just have to remember, it'll be their ASIN code, which is not going to benefit you if you try to go somewhere else. So I say pay for your own ISBNs and you will have them available.
And you can
And
still put it on Amazon's?
your ISBNs never expire.
Okay. If you have your own ISBN, you're able to still put your book on Amazon? My last question.
Of course.
Okay. Okay.
Mhm. But if you
All
don't have, they'll give you one. Now, I've had some people to say, well, I'm just trying to sell my book through Amazon. I don't want to sell anything myself. Oh, okay. I mean, that's their choice. It's available. It's a platform for people to use however they feel they need to. But I think, we should do as many things as we can on our own and make sure that we have things aligned correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Great questions, Ashley.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Hey, Dr. Irene.
Good morning. This is Malvise.
Hey, Melvies.
Hey, I would just like to ask something about the ISBNs and the barcodes. So if you use Ingram, um, you'll get a free barcode with the book cover template. And also when you set up your account with was it Balkers to purchase your ISBNs, if you want to use an imprint, so if you wanted to say like create a publishing company name or anything, you need to set up your Balkers account with that name. Because when you do it with Ingram, all of the data has to match. It has to match. If it doesn't match, Ingram will say you don't own this ISBN. So if you create your own imprint, it doesn't even have to be an official company, a official LLC, or have a tax ID number or anything. But if you want an imprint, which would be listed as the publishing company, you got to make sure that when you purchase the ISBNs, you purchase them under the name of that company that you want to show up as the publisher for your book. That's real important. If you just create the Bacchus account using your own name, when you publish the book, it's going to say published by your whatever name you use under that account.
Thank you, Melvies, and yes, that is correct. I did have an issue one time, well, several times where they was like, the imprint doesn't match. The imprint doesn't match. It did match. It's just that there was a space that we just could not see that was in there. So yes, they're gonna ask you, even on Amazon, they're gonna ask you, if you put in your ISBN and you put your name, but you maybe created your Balkers account under your business, like Melvies was just saying, they're gonna be like, no, it doesn't match. It's not correct. And you're going to have to go back and make sure you put in the same thing. So what it means is every book that you publish under those ISBNs, the imprint will be the same. Like my imprint is Jetnay Publishing. It's not my name. It's my publishing company. Any other questions or comments on this? Or technically anything else? Miss Anna?
I have one in the chat. Does Amazon no longer require authors who get their ISBN numbers through Amazon to keep it for a minimum amount of time? At one time, they said if you got your ISBN number from Amazon, you had to use it X number of months or years. I thought it was 3 years before you could sell your book elsewhere.
Well, Amazon doesn't have ISBN numbers. They have ASIN numbers.
That's what I mean. The number that you get for free from them.
Okay, the ASIN number. Okay. Yeah. And I'm not familiar with that, Miss Anna, because none of my authors have had that issue.
Okay.
But that's definitely something that I should look into. But I've not come across that. I just knew that, you know, if you use their ASIN number, you couldn't take that book anywhere else. It's not that you can't take the book anywhere else. It's that you would have to go back and create a new edition or a new copy of your book under a brand new ISBN to get it on other platforms.
Okay. And some people know that Amazon and Walmart are working together. Some of the books that only had Amazon ISBN numbers are now available through Walmart, and I've done nothing about it. It's just happened.
Yeah, and I'm not familiar with that because before it was that you had to have a separate number for Walmart. So my notes that I wrote a while back may be a little older than maybe some of the things that that's why we have other people that are doing this that may give us some perspective as well. But that was good, Miss Anna. Any other questions or comments? So the next thing I was going to talk about would be our tip number 2 is the cover of your book, the cover of your book. Don't be cheap when it comes to the cover of your book. Unless you just happen to be the rare person who is skilled and talented enough to design book covers as well as write your manuscript. Now, we do know we have a lot of platforms that help us, but we still have to be even careful with these platforms and how we're using what's on it and what's really what we can use as a copyright for us or what belongs under them. It's a lot of pictures and on these platforms that you cannot use. So here we go back to research. Make sure you are asking the right questions so that you are not doing something that you shouldn't be doing when it comes to creating your covers. We all have limitations. We do, but cover designs and copy editing are really where I think a lot of authors are not as good as they think they are. I only say that because I've seen some covers from some people that told me about their book, and I looked at that cover and I was like, I wouldn't buy this book. That cover is, that's not a good cover. That cover does not, if anything, that cover pushes me away. And we want covers that draw people in to what, because guess what? They typically see our cover before they see even the title. Well, on this one, you're not going to miss holistic wellness because it's huge. It's huge. And if anybody does not know, you see a little gray line here. This is a review copy. So that's why that gray line is there. So we want to make sure that we have covers that look professional, that align with whatever the title of the book is. Because this is going to be the first element that potential buyers are going to see. They're going to see the cover. If the cover doesn't draw them, they're not even going to, if they're in the bookstore and they see a cover and it doesn't draw them, it's not going to get picked up. So the cover is going to determine whether anyone other than, of course, your friends or family, if they purchase from you, will really take a closer look at your book. I would say work with a cover designer and be willing to pay a little something extra for it, unless you can create your own. The other week, I showed you a copy of a cover that I did. That's what I did when I didn't know any better. My first book back in 2006. But when I knew better, I redid that book, redid the cover on the book under a new ISBN, and now I have a cover that I am proud of. Don't get me wrong, I was proud of the first copy. I just didn't know that I needed to do something more and better. Once I learned that, then I did something more and better. Let me see if I see a copy on my shelf. Any comments or questions? This is the copy of the book. This is the book. Oh, got it upside down. This is the book that I did back in 2006 when I didn't have any experience. I hadn't been to any workshops, writing workshops. YouTube was not running, flushing, putting out content. This was the book that I did. It just had a Bible on the front, y'all. Living Words of Encouragement. The volume, well, it didn't have volume because it was, yes, it did. It was volume 1 because I was planning on doing a volume 2. And then some words, keeping it simple and real. So this was the copy now, cover now that I look back and I was like, what was I thinking? Well, I wasn't. I was just doing what I was able to do, okay? So when I redid it, here's the copy that's on this. Here's the cover now. Big difference. Now, I did this cover myself because I didn't have to change any of the words. Just change the font size of some of the words. And took a picture when I was at a retreat at the campground and brought the picture back and adjusted the picture color and stretched it to make this cover. So you can do some things yourself depending on what it is you're trying to do. I'll put it that way. But if you don't know what you're doing, seek assistance. Comments, questions?
Where would you recommend finding a cover designer?
Melvise, does your company just do covers for people?
So I have a list of recommended designers. If you like the list, you can send an email to customer service at writtenwordspublishing.com and I'll send you that list. I believe it has about 30 different designers on it right now, the range in price, range in genres. Yeah, I checked all their stuff out and I would recommend them to anyone who's looking to get a cover created. And then yeah, you can yeah, I'll put the email in the chat if you like it. I'll send it to you. So yeah, we don't have a graphic designer on staff yet, so we outsource that if need be. And then we use Adobe stock photos. A lot of times we can find a photo that meets the author's vision, and then we have access to, you know, hundreds of different fonts and everything. And you know, we have Photoshop and all of that, so we can create a cover that way. But if you want something, you know, specific, detailed, you know, I want this, and that. Yeah, we have designers that you can contact and work with them to get that.
Thank you, Melvise, thank you. Anyone else? And I was trying to remember, well, now I can't even remember, it's been so long, so disregard.
Yes, Dr. West.
Yes.
Yes, good morning, everyone.
Hey, Dr.
Hi, thank you so much for having this time today of all days that I can reach it. I wanted to ask a question. I put it in the chat because I wasn't sure of my background noise, but it's in the chat. I'm interested
see it.
in, you see it? Okay,
Mhm.
I'll mute my mic.
Okay, Dr. Irene said, I'm interested in publishing my dissertation. Where and how do I start? Dissertation, you already have the content. Go ahead, Miss Anna.
That's what I was going to say. It depends on who it is, her audience for the dissertation. If she would like to adapt that for a particular audience, that's one of the things that services I provide. If he's doing it for only an academic audience, that is not my area of expertise. But adapting her dissertation for a more general audience is something that I may be able to assist with. And I'll put my information in the chat. And tell us, what is your dissertation? What was your research question?
It's been over 4 years ago, but the dissertation was researching mental health and disorders in the church. And then one specific area targeted the Black church. However, the entire dissertation was not just the Black church, but
And
it was
so-
over mental health and disorders. I targeted areas such as stigmas. I also targeted areas of suicide. I targeted areas of leadership, burnout, and things of that nature.
All right. It sounds like you have multiple audiences that may be interested in this. And if you decide to work with me, that's one of the first things we will look at. Who is your audience? What is the purpose of publishing this? And what message do you hope to convey in this particular publication? And the university from which you got your dissertation, do you need permission from them to publish independently? Some universities hold on to the dissertations for X number of months or years. And so check for that as we begin to work together.
Thank you
Thank you,
very
Ms.
much.
Thank you, Miss Anna. That's good. I know when I got my dissertation, they were pressing us. Make sure you publish your dissertation. Don't wait, don't wait, don't wait. So yes, every school is different. Did I publish it? No.
Yes.
I didn't want to write a book about HR.
And see, you're right, Dr. West, they actually were pressing us on it and giving us a time frame of 2 to 4 years, where this is my 4th year. So yeah, going on 5 now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I mean, it's just content. It's a manuscript. So you can adjust it any way you want to for what you need to do. It's your work. Yeah, and there are some research places also that you can also publish your research on as well, that that may not have a fee. They just want, you know, options to have different types of research out there, but you would still have the ownership of your manuscript. And I mean, here's the thing that I do know. You're not going to publish your manuscript as your dissertation. What does that mean? You're going to have to adjust some things in there. You're going to have to shift some things to make it more polished for the platforms that you're going to be putting it on. A standard dissertation is not going to publish, and people typically purchase your book. Go ahead, Miss Anna. Your mic is off.
You'll be taking what you have written and what you have learned since you wrote it and adapt that research for the audience that you have in mind. And we will talk through that so that becomes clear to you. And if it's clear to me, we can make it clear for your audience.
Thank you, Miss Anna.
I have a quick question.
Yes.
Miss Anna, what was that third question that you had just mentioned to her? You said, who is your audience? What is the message you were looking to convey? And then what was that third question?
What is your purpose?
What's your purpose?
Is it right? Are you publishing this to teach, to inform, to persuade, to just have it out there, to inspire? Because if you were writing this to possibly be used as a study guide at a seminary, you would write it one way. If you're writing it for people just to understand it, but they don't know much of the vocabulary, you would write it in another way. And so one of the questions is, what does your audience already know about your topic? What do they need to know to understand it? And those are some of the questions that we'd be working through in our early consultations, so that we will do a better job of preparing the manuscript for the audience that you have in mind to get across the message that you would like to convey.
Okay, thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you. Good questions, Ashley, Dr. Irene. Anything else before we close? It's already 11:44, everybody.
Of course, we've got to invite them to this evening's event.
Yes, Miss Anna. Yes, Miss Anna. Yes, Miss Anna. Would you like to invite them, Miss Anna, to our event this evening?
We cordially invite you to join us this evening at 7 p.m. right here at Jatney Publications, when we present our latest collaborative book, Centered in Christ, Volume 4. And I'm particularly excited about this one because I had an opportunity to include both a short story and a collection of poems that fit the topic. And so for Poetry Month, to have this book come out in April, when we, the authors, got it, I was just able to publish that. And that's one of the things that Dr. West will share with us, ways to promote our work to the audience that we believe will buy it. So see you this evening.
Thank you, Miss Anna. So hopefully you can join us this evening, as Miss Anna said, for our book launch. I'm excited to say we have 11 authors in this one, and they've already sold over 200 copies. We're just getting started, so that's a great blessing. And hopefully they will make some good sales tonight as well. So join us. And also this video, along with, there's already 3 already posted. Go to YouTube, subscribe to my Jetne Publishing, Jatne Publishing space, and you will be able to find the previous 3 videos that we have done from this session, as well as the one that I will be posting today. Thank you so much, everyone. I appreciate you. Dr. Coleman, you have a comment before we close?
Yes, I still haven't gotten my books. Am I the only one that didn't get mine?
I think so.
Okay.
I'm gonna go on and look and see, okay?
All right. Thank you.
Okay, thanks for letting me know.
Will you put the link for this evening's meeting in the chat for those who may not be familiar with it?
I have everybody's information. I'm getting ready to
Okay.
send out. I've already put their names down and put them in the email. Thank you, Miss Anna. Bye, everyone. Catch you next week.
Bye. Thank you, Dr. Net.
You're very welcome.
Bye-bye. Shalom, and thank you so much.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
Dr.
Bye. Smooches.
Bye, Melvie. Mama Lisa, Sean.